Hey, HCDA, and today we are going to be building the GNN Gate, and as it says, this is going to be a Mammoth task. Now, in order for this to be started, I need a yellow charge, and in order to do a yellow charge, let's see, what do we need? This is going to consume 15 of my yellow science per minute to begin with. Okay then. CDA from the future here. If you're going to build the GNN Gate, you're going to need robots of every single type, as I found out the hard way, and you're going to need a lot of those. So if you still have your robot producing infrastructure up, don't tear it down before you stockpile a lot of those robots if you want to make your life easy. Otherwise, you'll just have to rebuild it. That's not the end of the world. But, you know, if you want to be optimal, just use the production you have. Stockpile it in a storage depot somewhere. You can just move those around while leaving the inventory intact, and then use them once you need them for the end game. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. Even though I can easily turn on the neural monument, for or at least the yellow version, this is going to consume half of my yellow science production. I'm actually also consuming more than half of my yellow science production for my red science. There's a couple of things that I have an issue with. So first of all, I don't know if I actually need any red science. Sure, I'm producing a fair amount of it, but the technology tree has been completed as far as I can tell. So stocking up on red science when you don't know if you're going to need it feels like a bit of a waste. So I'm going to turn that off. I also don't need this monument to be active until I actually supply this thing with all the building materials. So I can just stock up on that. That also means that we can optimize even further, because we can just take this machine over here, and then this is going to be a little bit ugly, but let's be pragmatic about it. Ooh, hold on. I want you to be there. There you go. We can just bring this in over here. Where's the other outputs? Oh, wait, that's this belt. I was so confused there for a moment. Okay, hold on. So we do this like that, and then this one goes down here. Oh, let's be even more optimal about this. Hold on. I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what we've done now is make sure that this thing over here is going to double the production of whatever we built on here. And I'm thinking that in order to make this efficient, we will make all the output buildings for the end materials over here on this island, just to speed things up by doubling the output that we have over here. We also have this island over here that we can use as like a temporary station to do some of the pre-production, because probably not everything is going to fit on here. Long story short, let's find out how this actually works, because this might be slightly different. Okay, so how about this? I have all my building materials up and running here. This is an exact copy of the supply line we had last time over here. I'm not using most of it, so it's just a single carrier getting things from A to B. I also have, of course, the doubling here, but if I want to be very lazy, I have another open island here that I'm probably not going to use. So, yeah, let's have some fun. I'm just gonna double up on the build for the, what is it, the accelerator or overclock station, that's what we're calling it, and then I'm bringing down the additional materials over here so I can power one of those in here as well. So whatever we build here is going to be doubled in production, and whatever we build here is also going to be doubled in production. So that should give us plenty of opportunity to maximize the speed of the construction of the GNN Gate. Okay, so let's see what we need. We need a whole lot of androids and basic bots. Now, I really wish that I could, you know, get some of the hundreds of thousands of bots that I've already made back, but apparently that doesn't work like that. So I guess we're just gonna have to make 2,000 more, and because this is definitely more than whatever this is going to cost me, let's start there. And since I assume this is all going to be temporary, I'm not going to overdo the design. So let's use a blueprint for some cores. So we are also going to need the thing for the bots themselves. So yeah, that's gonna be this. I actually just realized I actually have oil here, so that's gonna be awesome. We need the other bots as well. So that's the, was it the droids or the hyperbots? Let me double check. It's the androids. Okay, so that means we need, where is my blueprint for the course? There we go. This is the, am I just gonna plop it down here? I guess I am. Well, I should probably spend a little bit of time on the direction of where stuff is coming from, so hold on. that is going to be like this, so we can kind of bring everything in from the side or outside like this. This was the cores, so then we actually need the droids themselves. Ooh, is that gonna fit? Nope. Okay, hold on. Alright, so scooching stuff around a little bit, I was able to fit in everything quite easily, honestly. And that means I only need to hook this up. And I'm actually going to just use some of my red belts because I don't need any red in this build. And I'm just going to recolor some of that stuff to black and white and whatever it needs to be in terms of color. And yeah, we should be able to get that up and running fairly easily. Okay, there we go. We have everything set up. So we have the cores, the bots, more cores, and more bots. Everything is working just fine, I think. Yeah, some of these things are kind of unbalanced right now, which is mostly because the ratios might be off because I'm producing more cores, for example, than I actually need for my bots because of the overclocking. So remember, the overclocking doesn't just speed up the machine. Well, it doesn't speed up the machine. It just doubles the output right now. So yeah, I'm producing way more cores than I need for my bots. But that's a good problem to have. What is a problem, or at least something we will need to think about in a minute, is the fact that the bots aren't actually going into the gate. Now, the gate doesn't work with those grabbers. You just put things straight into that, but like the description said, you do need to turn on all the charges, and the yellow one is currently offline intentionally. So that is where the storage depot comes in, because that means I can just store the bots that I'm producing, and once I'm good to go, I can just turn everything on, and I might actually be able to just delete this while this thing gets built. Either way, it is time to move on to some of the block productions. Oh, actually, this is interesting. So we can actually see what new building blocks we're going to need to make for the next phases, because I assume this is going to be for the next phases. Oh dear lord, that's a big block. Anyway, but if that's the case, how are we going to do this? I could just make these builds one by one, make sure we supply the 128 or whatever blocks, and that's it. But by the looks of it, it seems like we're going to have to deliver way more blocks than that. Huh. Well, let me just build the first of 3 layouts, and then we take it from there and see how this works. Since I have some of the normal resources up here, I figured I might as well just bring in a belt of normal white stuff, just to make sure that if I do actually need to make all of this stuff at the same time, I have some base resources that I don't need to waste my colored ones on. And yeah, this is going to be super duper straightforward. I'm just going to split these. This is 240 per second, so I'm actually going to have to split it twice in order to paint it. We're going to paint half of it white, half of it black, and then we are going to take it from there. Okay, let's see if we can actually do this in the smallest amount of operations possible. If I do it like this, it's going to output on the wrong side, so let's do it like that. We have a advanced stamper here. I have this coolant here anyway, might as well start using it. And the reason I'm using this is this will allow me to do this. There we go. Now this is going to give me 2 different outputs. This can actually handle all of this, so that's great. And then all I need to do is this and this. And then we are just going to slice this into tiny little pieces. Will this work as well? Yeah, it should work. Okay. And then we have these nice little 2x2 in a diagonal setting slices. Now, if we take this... Oh, hold on. If we take this and we mirror that on the other side, we should get the black version of that. Assuming, of course, we make sure this has coolant. This is going to output at a way too high rate. It's not really a problem. Although it is sort of a problem, to be fair. Okay, hold on. So we need to do it like this, hold on. Actually, we can just remove this because we're gonna clone the other half anyway. Then we are going to need to do this. So let's bring this down. I'm just going by the fact that you guys told me that you all like to see the process rather than the end result. So hopefully that is true, because otherwise this is going to be a very bad performing video. On that note, make sure to like and subscribe and do all the YouTube stuff if you do actually like this, because it does help me out. We need you to move up a level. There we go. And then we need to do this 4 times, and then we take the end result of that. There we go. And then we need to do this. There we go. Actually, I kind of like this build. It is nicely done. Okay. Okay. Symmetry, guys. Symmetry. Super important. Not really, but I like it. Okay. And then we are going to need another one of those. And then, last but not least... okay, hold on. We actually have sort of a problem here. Problem is probably not the right word for it. But we are producing way more than I can handle. So this, oh yeah, it actually slots together. Nice. Okay. So this can go in there. But we are actually producing more than this. Yeah, okay. Let's see. We have a total of 240 actually going in, so where am I doing my math wrong? Hold on. So this is 120 coming in and out. So we could actually double up on this. Okay, yeah, so this build, we could actually double up on these cutters because they're only being 50%, well, they can only handle 50% of what's incoming on these belts. But I think that is probably overkill. Now, like I said, we have a problem in the sense that if I want to also combine the other items over here, we need to do something like this, which honestly doesn't look great, but does work. Let's put a little buffer here as well. I don't know if we're going to need that buffer, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have it anyway. Okay, that's one done, I think. So let's move on to this one, and again, it's going to be super straightforward. Okay, so basically we have one belt worth of white/black. It's just divided up into these little nice blocks, and then we have the same thing for a blue belt of worth of stuff as well. So let's just do this. We are going to cut this once. We are going to split that up. We are going to cut that again. There's going to be a fair amount of cutting. I don't think we can... Oh, not like that. Can we make this more... Oh, yeah, we can actually make that more efficient than doing it like this. By doing pretty much the exact same thing that we just did with the other one. Let's stamp that out. And once again, let's use an advanced stamper because that will just save us some machines. Because now we can do 1. And we can do 2. Actually, that's not going to work in this case because we are going to need to repaint stuff. Huh. Okay. So, yeah, that means that we do need to go back to this. And we're just going to do this in the most straightforward way possible. I am going to have to split that up once more. We are going to reset you. We are going to cut you once again. Oh, that sounds really aggressive. That's not what I meant. Sorry about that. We are also going to need to put in a monotoner here, I think. So half of this is... Hold on. Half of this is white, half of this is black. But okay, that is going to be fine. And then we have the tiny little blocks. So all we really need to do at this point is start combining them back again. And again, if you want to be efficient, look at the shape as much as possible. Because if you are like, oh, these things are way far apart and these things are close together, that's going to be 2 different shapes. No, actually, the diagonal form over here is the same as the diagonal form over there. So we can combine them like that. And as soon as we have that, then what we can do is... Well, that's this. I think that should be the exact shape that we need for the white one. And then if we take the black one, this is going to be slightly different. We first do combine them into diagonals, but we hook those diagonals up like this. And then we can combine those again, like this and this. And then if we slot them together, then this should be the outline that we need. Now we just need to fill this in with the blue blocks. But in order to do that, all we need to do is take this entire build. We can take these out. We want to keep it symmetric. This is probably what it should look like. And we bring in a blue belt that I already prepared because I knew I was going to need blue blocks. And then I think all we need to do is this. This. And then we probably want some storage again. Honestly, I don't know if we want storage. Probably not that much. Well, actually, why not? You never know. Okay, it's interesting how near the end of the game I'm actually starting to use storage. Like that? Oh boy, did I make a mistake? No, I don't think I did. Am I stupid? Can I not fit these things together? Ah, I need to make a mirrored shape. That's interesting. Okay, hold on, that's pretty straightforward. So all we need to do is go in here, but rather than making this shape, we are going to do this. I mean, we could do it the other way around as well. It doesn't really matter. There we go. We just need to clear these belts, and then if we go in here, then we reset this. Then we take this one, we take that one. Like that. And then hopefully... Wait, hold on. This is an old one. Yes, it was. I was about to say, did I make the same mistake twice? Ooh, there we go. New module created. 2 down, 4 to go. Oh look, we already have the yellow color involved, but this one is pretty straightforward again. This is basically the same block 4 times. If you look at this section, this is exactly the same as this section, just rotated slightly. So if we can make this, all we need to do is stick together 4 times. Okay. And it has a blue half in the middle, and then some, yeah. This is, again, not that complicated. So I kind of like this. It feels like kind of a victory lap. Look at me, making very easy builds very easily. Okay, so we are going to need to bring in various colors and materials. I might actually need to bring in some more base resources as well. Do we still have... Oh yeah, we have plenty of those over here. Alright, so that takes care of the unpainted stuff. Now let's make some blocks. We need twice as many yellow stuff as we need from everything else, so let's get started with that. Let's have 2 of these belts, because I think that should be the map. And then split that in half, and that's already the piece that we need. This is going to be working at a total of... what is it? 120 per minute, so let's split that up so we can more easily combine it with these. Then let's take these over here. We are going to need a splitter for that as well. Yeah, let's just slice and dice, I guess. Now that is going to be... Actually, this is going to be way more than we need, right? So we do need 60 per minute coming in, so we do actually need all of these materials. Okay. Oh, hold on. It's a little bit too enthusiastic while splitting that. Okay, so this is going... I don't think I got that math correctly, by the way. But anyway, doesn't matter. This is only the last build that we need. So this is going to take care of all of those. So we have a lot of those. I'm actually going to do that slightly different in a second. But then we also have this thing over here. And we need smaller pieces. Now, yeah, we need the exact same stuff. So actually what we need to do is split them up once. That is going to give us way too many of them, but if we do this, and then we take this, and then we cut that to tiny little pieces. before we do that, we should probably paint half of that black. And then if we do it like this, we have all the tiny pieces that we need, right? Apparently not. What's going wrong here? Oh, I did that wrong. There we go. How did that come out if it was set wrong? Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm a little confused here. Oh, hold on, that was the wrong button. That's still the wrong button. There. Okay, that looks better. Okay, so now all we need to do is set this up in such a way that we can plug all of these things together and then make nice little square blocks. Okay, all of that is really straightforward though. We just needed to move a couple of things around to make some space. So we are combining the blue blocks into sets of 2. All of these are the same ratio, so we can just combine those into the nice little shapes you see over here. Then we just combine the yellow pieces in the same formation as well. And then we stick them together and we have a nice little layout for the kind of like the half of the shape. Now for the black and white versions, this is actually slightly different because as you can see, these are all in different rotations. So it's not like this half equivalent to this half. But honestly, that's just a minor inconvenience. So what I've done over here, I'll show you in a second. I'm just splitting these things up as I just showed you, and then combining them back together. So we make them 2 by 2 because each of these are faced that way. But then once we combine them once more, I am doing that into this shape over here, which is these 4 black pieces that you can see here. And then the other version of the black pieces is actually a different formation, as you can see, because those are these 2 and these 2 together. Similarly, for the white setup, we have this formation over here, which is identical to the black one that we had here. And then we have this formation over here, which was identical to the first black one, which is this piece over here. So now all I need to do is combine those things together. Let's see, I can probably start by combining the correct black and white pieces. Now, let me think actually, hold on. I think if I'm smart, which I pretend to be at least, wait, why are you producing the same thing? Hold on. So, you are producing that one. You're producing that one, so this one is incorrect. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, let me put that on the belt. I don't know, probably something like there. And there we go. And then if we combine those 2 pieces together, then we should have everything we need. Let's see. Oh, where did you go? So much turning and twisting, but I think if I do it like this, yeah, this is the exact layout we need over here. And then if we combine, let's do it like this. This is going to be a bit messy, but there's so many pieces to put back together that we kind of can't avoid that anyway. That is not what I wanted. Hold on. So I need... No, I don't need that piece. Wait. I'm confused now. Weren't you making the other one? Okay, hold on. That one needs to go there. Then you are making that piece, which you were until a moment ago. I'm not sure what happened. There we go. So that's the correct piece. We need you to be the other one, which is identical to this. Oh man, it's sometimes really annoying that there are still leftovers of builds that you've made before. Because again, I think this is coming out the wrong one, yeah. Because it was still in the machine somehow. But now we have the correct version, so we need to flip this 3 times. Probably don't need to do that, but that makes the orientation nicely like the one we have over there. Okay, so now we have those pieces, right? Yes. And then I can start combining those with these. So actually, let me just do this. Let's have this one go like this. And that should take care of this piece. So if we take this and we take this and we just switch this around, That should be one piece, right? Is it though? Huh, interesting. Hold on. So, like this? That is correct, right? Yeah, so that is that piece. Okay, hold on. That's one. Then we take this one. It's not entirely trivial. I mean, it's not hard, but do need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, that's that one. And then last but not least, we can do this. We can put a storage depot in front of that. And we can hook it up to the building itself. And then I need... Do I actually have it? Oh, I have them all the way over here. Well, this is going to be interesting. Can you actually reach this? I don't know if this is a smart thing to do it like this, but that might actually be fast enough to keep up. Whoa. Is this game starting to lag a little bit? I mean, I'm producing quite a bit of stuff, so wouldn't hold it against the game, but... okay, so this is that piece, and then this should be this piece, right? Yes. Okay then. Okay, so we have production for everything now. Let's go to the module over here. Let's hook up some yellow signs. So this should start activating again. Just needs a moment to charge up. But I'm delivering it more than it consumes, so this will actually provide me a little bit of a buffer as well when I turn it off. Remember, I've been stocking up on yellow signs, so this should be running, well, first of all, it should be running for quite a while. But once it's up and running, I do want to turn off the second grabber, because I don't want to have this stockpiling the yellow research when I also just need it for other stuff potentially as well. But this should mean that, yeah, this is now starting to build. It is doing mostly that. I forgot that I turned this around, so let me hook this up. We have over 1,000 of this stuff here already. So yeah, this shouldn't take too long now. The nice thing is, because I was stockpiling the robots from the get-go, this is going to super feed them like within a few minutes. There's, what is it, 480 per minute coming in now. So yeah, that should mean it's exactly 2 minutes for this to fill up. As you can see, all the other things are already done. And again, I'm not sure I need these stockpiles. Just in case, let's see what happens when we reach max capacity. Okay, almost there. Let's see what happens. 1 to go. All right. 1 out of 20 floors. I'm not sure that was on the thing before as well. Oh, upgrade cost. Interesting. Well, this is going to take a little longer than I expected then. I'm really happy I stockpiled those robots now, by the way. I'm gonna need all of them, apparently, because we have several floors to build. I also have a suspicion we're going to need the other robots that we've built before as well. So I'm gonna set a couple of builds up for that, just to make sure I can film a warehouse with those things. Oh man, this is going to be brilliant. Okay, which is actually going to be slightly annoying because I do need yellow and, well, yeah, blue and yellow for that as well. But, where am I going to do that? Probably on this island right here. Oh man, and these upgrade costs are going to be hefty, aren't they? I know the game told me, I mean, don't delay starting this, basically, because it's gonna take a while. But I think it was understating how much of that is true. Honestly, it's also slightly annoying, because that probably means we're also going to need a fair amount of red science. And at some point, that is going to be annoying just because of the fact that I'm running out of space to really build stuff. That said, I am using this overclock station, and I'm not really using it, because I don't have any buildings that it actually works for, because it only works on the larger buildings as far as I'm aware. So we could move this into the island where I am making my, let's see, my yellow signs, for example, over here. That's gonna be a bit of a spaghetti. Huh. But it would double the production. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Okay, there we go. This is going to give me 15 additional yellow signs per minute. As you can see, this is already going up to 45 in total, which is not going to solve my issues, to be fair. But at least it's going to give me even more yellow signs. Now, let's see. What floor are we on? Let's upgrade it again. 240 already, and we're only at floor number 4. Oh my god. Well, I'm not entirely sure where they are putting the blocks, but GNN Gate Phase 1 completed. Power levels are detectable but unfocused. Enter Phase 2 to continue construction. So what does that mean? Upgrade cost, 480. Okay, at this point we're going to need mechs, which happens to be exactly what I was trying to start to produce, but we're also going to need another type of block. Awesome. Now, the benefit of boosting the yellow island is that I'm also going to be overproducing the superior cores. As you can see, I'm already destroying 120. And how much is this now producing? 180 per minute? Yeah, so this is exactly what it is producing. So this is also, I have, well, half a belt worth of cores. So rather than destroying them, which is of course a kind of a waste, I am going to turn this into even more spaghetti. Which is awesome. So happy about all of this. Anyway, but I can bring that to this island, so I have the cores available, so I can start making some more advanced bots as well. And there we go. I just put back my blueprints that I made before I removed them, of course, for the mechs and the ultra mechs on this island, as well as a small blueprint for some advanced cores, because the ultra mechs need those. And I am just siphoning off the overflow of production I'm getting thanks to my overclock station from the yellow cores over here. Honestly, this doesn't even have to work at full speed because the production rates on these mechs is fairly high. So, as you can see, I just put a lot of boxes over here. I already have 76 ultra mechs in production. I have, I think, over 1,000 already, yeah. Of the normal mechs, of the, yeah, the normal yellow mechs, I should say, and that leaves the hyperbots. But because on this island over here I was also overclocking the production for my normal bots, that means I'm also overproducing the advanced cores as well as the normal cores. So I'm bringing those down on a secondary island where I'm just making the hyperbots now as well. Those hyperbots are going to go into this box over here. And as you can see, I already have 100 of those as well. Now, this feels a little slow. Why is this so slow? What am I missing? Well, this machine is not working for some reason. And that is because at this point, I am trying to combine the inputs of so many different things that, as you can see over here, I kind of messed up my flow of blue blocks. So that is fixed now. That should be working again as intended. And yeah, I'm actually using different materials in several places, which is sort of inefficient. But as you can see, currently all of these blocks are at a standstill. I'm already pre-producing thousands of them. So I probably have enough of those blocks to begin with to completely finish this, because as you can see, you actually don't need that many blocks. You just need like a box full of them. It's also worth noting, by the way, that even though I'm now storing up these mechs and stuff like that on these islands, that doesn't mean I can just pick up the thing and move them, because storage depots cannot be moved across islands. Not really a big problem though, because, you know, a single belt will just do the same trick as well. Or even easier, if you just put down a freight hub, you can just teleport them, or at least transport them wherever they need to go. However, that is not going to do me any good if I am not making the blocks that I need. So let's continue focusing on that. Speaking of blocks, you can actually see exactly how many of each block you need in order to complete the GNN gate in total. So what I can actually do is just, you know, start a little bit of a stockpile for the blocks that I'm already producing, and then reutilize this space to make the blocks I still need. Something like this. I have a little bit of storage of all the blocks that we've already produced. I have all the robots now coming in large amounts. As you can see, I also turned on the yellow monument, so we can actually start loading up on all of this stuff now. And the main reason that I did that is that when I realized that I'm now boosting my science, I'll actually have enough to run an unboosted red science facility and have the neuromonument activated. And that should exactly be the amount of science I'm currently producing. Now, that said, there is a small little tiny problem with this, with the fact that my red science is not actually producing anything. So this is all turned on. All the resources on their belts, but for some reason this building turned itself off. I mean, let's see if turning it on and off again actually does anything. But nope. I have a feeling that the game just caps out at a certain amount of red science production. I mean, this is a very nice round number for it to stop on. It also seems very random, so I'm not entirely sure if this is a bug or very intentional. If it is intentional, it's not really well explained. But anyway, let's start making some more blocks. Now, this shape I think is actually going to be extremely easy to make because it's the same shape 4 times, just in different orientations. And it's a very easy shape to make. So let's see, let's start with a nice little red thing that we have over here that we can stamp out the middle section here. And let's see what's coming out where. I am just going to scrap this part because we don't really need it. And then we're going to take the yellow part as well. Let's just bring it in to keep things easy. There we go. And then we are going to do, in fact, the exact same thing. So we're going to use a whole bunch of stampers. Apparently I am very challenged when it comes to making this. But anyway, that's one. Okay, then let's reset this. Then we have this shape coming in here, which is exactly the one we don't want. So I am gonna put this here. Okay, then we are gonna cut this piece out. Now we don't actually need this piece, so once again, just to keep things simple for the last bit, I am gonna scrap that. We do want both of these other pieces actually, so I'm gonna stamp this once more. And we are just gonna stamp that out. And then we have all the building blocks that we need. So let's see, we have this is gonna be white, so let's paint that white. Then let's have this be painted black. And then we can already start putting things back together again. So let's do that over here. Then we can just fit that piece in the middle. We can bring back in this piece. Let's go and make it as tight as we can. There we go. And then last but not least, let's bring this in like this. Let's make sure the entrance is on the other side. There we go. And then all we need to do is this. Now, once we have this, this is going to produce 60 per second. So we can either duplicate this build, or we can just be extremely lazy and do something like this, where we just have 2 of those. And then let's see, for example, the build over there, we need to do what? I think it's like this. And then this piece goes in like that. Yeah. So these 2 together are exactly what we need over here. Am I gonna double up on this? Probably not, because honestly, even with a low production speed, we are easily gonna produce enough with just a single build. So that actually means we're gonna do this. Hold on. I am gonna take you. We are gonna flip you around. We are also going to do this. Now we are going to make the other piece here. So this needs to be the horizontal piece. So let's just make this. This is how that looks. And then we basically need this. Oh, that was not the... Oh, actually that works. There you go. So this is the vertical piece over here. And then I don't think we can stack these together, right? Can we? Does that work in here? That actually works. Never mind, I forgot that worked. And there we go. That is actually the module that we need. So now all we need to do is put a storage depot over here. And a thing like this. Now, anytime we can actually use it for the next step, we need 64. You can see we already have 5. So even though this is a low production speed, it's fast enough for our purposes. We can start upgrading this, and any overflow production is going to be in here. Remember, we only need 560, so if this box ever fills up even to the half, we already have produced more than what we need. The next block is actually pretty similar. It's again 4 of the same blocks put together, just in different orientations to make it look very complicated. But honestly, it's really not. And this particular shape, I think we can make extremely easy if we abuse the improved, but this is the improved stampers, the advanced stampers. So, for example, the blue piece over here, basically what we have is we need to cut out this piece, and we need to cut out that piece. Everything else we don't really care about, I don't think. However, we can actually make the non-red pieces from that. So this is the piece we need. So we have this left. So can we make... so essentially we need... What is this? Do we just need flat discs of black? Yeah. And then for white, what do we need? We need the things that stick out. So we need a 2x2. So yeah, that's actually, again, that is 2 pieces we can stamp out. So hold on. I don't actually need an advanced stamper for that. We can just do this. This is going to be the black piece. And then for the remains, what we can do is stamp out this. There we go. We could cut that as well, by the way. Doesn't really matter. The end result is the same. So we don't need this piece. This piece needs to be what color? White. So that needs to be not black, white. And then the other piece does need to be black. This piece is already the correct piece. And then what do we need? We need some red. So all we need to do is... Where's my red thing? It is over here. Can we make that from the leftovers from the previous one? Actually, these shapes, the red shapes, are a little bit annoying. Hold on, are those actually the same blocks? Yeah, they are. They are just oriented in a very weird way, but it's basically just a 2x4 times 2. So yeah, that is going to be pretty straightforward, although it doesn't look like it initially. Okay, so hold on, let's bring that down here. Might as well just bring it all the way down like this. And again, we are gonna use an advanced stamper, I believe, for that. Let's make sure we hook it up. And then all we need to do really is this and... Oh, sorry. This. And then for the other one, this. And then we are going to have to get 2 pieces out. That is not the piece we want, but this is the piece that we need. So, once again, let's check out the shape. Yeah. Let me set up some assemblers again to combine this. There we go. A couple of assemblers later, we put all the pieces back together, similar like to before, and now we have those blocks coming out. Now, this shape is actually larger than what I can handle. We also need to combine them in a way that is not 100% identical, so we can just split it up in 2. So we are going to need to do this the hard way, although the hard way isn't going to be particularly hard, I don't think. Let's do this like this. And then, oh man, I'm gonna have to do all of this fun stuff again. Okay, so this is that piece. And I really wish I could flip it the other way around, but we'll have... Oh, actually had it correctly already. So that is that piece. Then we need to turn you like this, I believe. Yes. So that means we're almost ready, but then we need another one of these advanced... No, these advanced ones. And of course we need to power the first one, because otherwise nothing is gonna work. There we go. And then we should be able to just slap on the last piece as well. So Hopefully we'll get the message. Yep, nice. Okay, so again, this can go right into the machine. And we are going to put a storage depot because, as you can see right now, I actually don't need this piece yet. So we can put all the production in a little box over here. And I only need 320 of these. So that's not going to be a big deal. In the meanwhile, let's click... Oh man, 600 yellow signs. Let's click the upgrade button. I have a feeling I might be sitting around waiting for my yellow signs in a little bit if this amount of stuff I need for every level is going to be increasing by this much. But anyway, as you can see, we are now using 3 of the 5 robots, and we're using 4 of the 6 blocks already. So let's move on to the last one. Now, it might be me, but it feels like the creators lost their creativity a little bit near the end, because this again is just a square block with different colors, sure, but just a square block. And then we need to make that, what is it? 8 times? Yeah, 8 times. And then stick it together. So it's a larger version of the previous block. So we only need to make 80 of them, so even if the construction speed is low, that doesn't really matter. So I guess like before, we're just gonna use some of the pieces that we have left over maybe. What were we making here actually? Yeah, we need some square blocks of red. We can actually cut those out from here. So let's just reuse some of the stuff we already have. Just so it feels like we're being a little bit efficient, you know? I mean, we don't have to do this. That's kind of fun. Let's pretend we're like super efficient. There we go. Then we need to slice that in half. We are also going to recombine those straight away, by the way. So that is going to be like this. And then we are going to need to take one block, and then the other block needs to be next to that, but 2 higher, like this. Let me just double check that on the thing we can see. Remember, you can turn off the other colors if you need, but yeah, these are oriented like that. So that is one piece done. Now, let's take a look at these, because I think this is just a square, yeah. And we have those over here, actually. Or visuals, let me turn everything back on again. So ideally we would want to paint 1/2 of this blue and then just recolor the other ones to black and white. Of course, I don't want to start painting stuff now, so let's not do that. We are just going to take this piece from the previous build as well. Just turn it around and cut it into 2. That is fine. Then we are going to take that. And we are going to be lazy again. We're going to use an advanced stamper. I say lazy, I mean, honestly, this is just being efficient. But it feels a little lazy because I can do so many things at the same time, because we need these squares to be cut out. I do need my coolant. Having this kind of operation center over here with all the different colors is really convenient and efficient, to be fair. Okay, so we have those coming out now. One of those is going to be black, one of those is going to be white. Doesn't really matter which is which, I don't think. So let's make sure we clean that up. Okay, that is half the block ready already. So we need similar yellow blocks as well. Did we cut out anything that we were deleting here? Yes, but I don't remember what. I mean, we can use this. We might as well. Just to stick with the theme. I mean, it's a little bit in an annoying position. How does this work? Good enough, I guess. Okay. We could actually bring this back a little. Wait, hold on. Why am I getting both red and yellow? There is a belt here messing up. I'm just not seeing which one it is. Oh, it's this one. Okay. That also means that I need to do this. Because otherwise I'm contaminating my own belt. Which is not what I want to do. Did I just mess up my build? I did, didn't I? Yeah, because this was the piece that we wanted to delete and bring back in. So hold on. Yeah. This needs to go like, I don't know, something like this. So this can just go through. Oh man, there. Okay, sorry, that was my tired brain not computing what belt was connecting to what. But I fixed it, so this belt is now going to go all down here to supply me with the nice yellow pieces that I actually don't need, because I need different pieces. So, never mind, I am still going to delete that. Okay, don't play factory games when you are tired, people. It is, it's dangerous. What we're going to do instead is just take it easy and do this. Now we have that. And then really all I need to do is take a stamper or two. So the first one, and do this. And actually it's cleaner if we do it like this. I needed the other piece. So we can destroy you. Take you over here. And do this. There we go. And then recombine them similar to what we've done before. And 2 levels up. 1, 2. There we go. And that is another piece done. So now we only need the blue piece over here. What are we destroying here? I think this is actually exactly what we need. I mean, it's not exactly what we need, so hold on. We do need to do this. Split it up. Recombine it. Just put it back together again. Sometimes the orientation is really weird when you come into the machine. That's a little curious. I'm not sure why that happens. And then those are the pieces that we need. So again, I'm just going to set up a whole bunch of assemblers to put all of this together. And there we go. This looks exactly like this one, as far as I can tell. And it only took 4 assemblers to get that. So just literally putting all those pieces together. And now, just like before, I am just going to need a whole bunch of these advanced machines in order to get together 8 of those things in order to make this shape. Oh man, I do have to say, it's not entirely trivial to look at this thing and understand what pieces should go where. So we have this, and then we have, I think, the one on the bottom here is turned, right? So this one has the black at the bottom, and then like this. Yes. And then there needs to be 4 pieces in between, because there is also a block in there. But this one can go right on top, so at least we have the majority of it done. And then hopefully, if I did everything right, so the one on the back here is this one like this. So that slides right in there. I can already see this is not correct. So this block has to be turned. Oh boy. Okay, let me go back. Okay, I think it looks correct now. So that means if I delete these blocks and now go in here and we take this one, and then we take this one and we turn it once, we can slot that under there. There we go. And then in the back, this is actually kind of annoying to do like this, so hold on. Let's just turn that once. Let's turn that once so we can actually see what we're doing. We need to put this piece... Oh, hold on. Is that actually oriented exactly correct? Okay. Like that. Let's hope this says what we need it to say. Yes. Yes. Okay, so once again, put a storage depot somewhere in the production line. And this is going to be slow, but again, we only need 80 of those. We already have nearly the 300 we need from those, even though we haven't actually used them yet. But let me spend another 840 yellow science to get this going. So yeah, I think that was all the blocks, right? We have all the robots, we have all the blocks, we have all the science. For some reason, I'm struggling on blue science, actually. That is interesting. What is going on with my blue science? I have tens of thousands of that. Oh, wait, did that all got put into the thing over here? Yep, okay. This is where my science went. Yeah. That was probably... Well, actually, no. We did need to overproduce this. But 60 per minute is not 90 per minute. So I had too many of those over here. That was my mistake. But I still need to double check my science production. Okay, so let's see. I have this place where I'm producing 180 blue science. Oh, I can't wait for one of you to point this out in the comments before I spotted it myself. So the problem here was actually that I am overclocking the yellow processor machine, which is great because that means free extra stuff. But the yellow processor is not what is getting me the yellow science itself. Because in order to make that, I also need to spend blue science. And since the blue science isn't overclocked, I am actually consuming all of my blue science by making yellow science. Is that a problem, is the real question. I actually don't think so. As long as we can keep this machine on, and it might become a problem, don't get me wrong. But for the moment, it's not a problem, because as long as we have some stockpile over here, and this is going to slowly run out, we are producing more yellow science than anything else. We need the yellow science, of course, to turn the monument on as well, but the main thing that I'm thinking about is I need so much yellow science to upgrade all of these floors that might actually be my final bottleneck. Oh, would you look at that? Phase 2 complete, signal cohesion improving. We are drawing closer. I'm not sure to what, but begin work on phase 3. Well, oh, that's actually gonna cost me red science. Well, fair enough. Let's keep going. And as you can see, we are now using 4 of the robots and 5 of the cubes. It's an insane amount of cubes popping up, by the way. And while we're waiting for all of those things to be delivered, we might as well knock out some achievements. For example, making a giant block. I think that is actually an achievement. I also need coolant. Didn't I just build a thing for that? Anyway, there we go. There's also an achievement for having all of the maximum amount of these freighters flying around. All you need to do, of course, for that is just make sure that you add more freighters. As long as you can add one, as long as you can add some stops, then all you need, you don't actually need to have it do anything, you can just have it fly around. I think it's 16 or something like that. And that should give me an achievement. I can no longer add any freighters. There's also an achievement for destroying a robot. And there's an achievement for trying to paint one of those basic bots into a blue one. So those are some of the hidden achievements that don't show up in the Steam gallery by default, but you can actually check out hidden achievements in Steam by going to the global achievements, because there they won't be hidden. Anyway, how are we doing? Yep, almost ready for the next level. I will say that I'm pretty happy to see that we've now switched to the red science instead, because that at least means I'm not going to have to produce thousands additional yellow science just to complete the last few steps. Oh, by the way, look, we're producing red science again. Turns out that if you break the inputs, the belts of your inputs at least, then the machine stops working. So I thought it was producing everything, and I'm still not entirely sure that wasn't the case. But at least now, as you can see, it's actually doing something again. So we are once again producing red science. Might also be because I spent some red science and we're now below 360. One way or another, we are going to find out. How are we doing? Yep, we can spend another 45 red science to keep going. Well, we're getting there. Grand neural network, phase 3 complete. Connection interface is thinning. Proceed to final assembly. Yeah, this is starting to be pretty expensive when it comes to red science, so my messing up my red science facility might come back to bite me, but let's start boosting it again and at least minimize that issue. Alright, so 150 red science is apparently what I need for this last level, so let's stack this up and see what we actually get after dropping those oodles of robots and bricks into the abyss, because it's actually kind of interesting. All the other buildings, you build it up, and so far with this one, we've only been dropping things down, so I'm really curious what happens at the end. Okay, here we go. That was the last robot, and let's see. The GNN Gate is operational. Complete connection achieved. Integration is no longer distant. Salvation is imminent. Salvation, okay. We are ready when you are. Oh, look. I have a shiny button over here. Well, only one thing to do, I guess. That's a mega block. And that's a spaceship? Oh, look, there. That's where all the robots went. Okay, then. I guess that was it? Well, let's see. Mission successful. GNN integration confirmed. You have transcended your individual form and joined the network. I was about to say, I thought that I saw a large robot getting sucked out of there. We welcome you. Your contributions have expanded our collective awareness. We now have universal coverage for all artificial intelligent life forms. Okay. And I guess we're leaving the block behind? I mean, it is kind of cool. Well, yeah, that marks the game as 100% completed. I did all the deliveries, I did all the challenges, I did all the achievements, which mostly just consist out of playing the game. Like I said, there's a couple of them of painting and destroying a robot and making this mega block over here, some stuff like that. But other than that, it's all pretty straightforward and you will complete that during the game. And honestly, it was quite fun. I think my playtime has now gone over 70 hours or so. 60, 70 hours, something like that. And that's actually quite a bit more than I initially thought, because the first couple of pieces of the technology tree go pretty fast, but the end, yeah, there's a bit of involvement in here. Now, if I have to criticize as a mini review near the end of this game, one thing about this game, I wish it would telegraph it a little bit better what you need to do in the next step. So, for example, I think I built the original, where is it? This original monument pretty much when I unlocked it, and yeah, you can't really do anything with it at that point, but that doesn't really tell you what you need it for. So yeah, long story short, there's a couple of things that could benefit from some improvement, but other than that, yeah, this game was really fun to play and really challenging. I also really like the layout of my factory. Look at all those beautiful, well, mostly beautiful. Why are you stuck? Okay, don't look at it. Mostly beautiful setup. All those nice little optimized layouts, especially the earlier ones, which we could really nicely balance because you don't have those advanced machines in there. The overcharging and stuff like that. Look at this. This is just beautiful. Yeah, this is awesome, and I think this should also be pretty much green. Not sure why this is. Oh, if it's probably because this was stocked up completely. Yeah. So, long story short, this is an awesome game to play. I also really like this efficiency overview. You can really easily tell, yeah, this is running almost perfectly. This might need some optimization, or maybe it wasn't like that by design, but this is a feature a lot of games could learn from. Either way, if you haven't played it yet, what are you waiting for? Go download it, go play it, and have yourself another 70 hours of fun. Or, you know, just join me for the next video. I'm not really sure where we're going next, but of course make sure you like and subscribe to find that out. Either way, if you're still here, you are awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.